Okay, hello, this is Alligator in Alignment. I'm doing a interview with a really precious friend of mine. Almost 45, 50 years we've known each other. He joined my band when I was living on Maui in Hawaii. I was there for 3 years. And Joey moved back to Hawaii several years ago. I haven't been there since I left in 1976. But you all know about the fire in Hawaii. I was devastated to hear about that because the town that we lived in, Lahaina, we were the band at that time. In fact, we introduced reggae music to the Hawaiian Islands, period. Nobody was playing it back then. We introduced reggae music to Hawaii. But the thing is, the town we lived in, Lahaina, is burnt to the ground. I can't imagine that Lahaina is gone. Lahaina had the largest banyan tree in the world. The banyan tree survived the fire. I'm going to sing about that banyan tree. I'm going to do a little bit of this gentleman's song, Waikiki, and I'm going to insert little things about my stay on Maui. Okay, so we're going to get that rolling right now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 Why, Kiki? Why you wanna do me like that? Why you wanna hurt me so bad? Why you wanna break my heart in half? Why, Kiki? Why you wanna do me like that, baby? Why you wanna hurt me so bad? Why you wanna make me feel so sad? Let me tell you. Walking in Lahaina in the morning mist, underneath the banyan tree I stole a kiss. I got in and out real quick, I was real slick. You couldn't call it a swim, call it a dip. Music coming from the Pioneer Inn. I miss David Bequette, my New Orleans friend. Every time I would come in, he would grin and say, Alligator, don't stand there. Come on, sit in. The Pioneer Inn is burnt down and gone. And like Kiki, I'm all alone. Oh, yeah, yeah. Blue waters dancing, ocean spray in the air. Trade winds blowing your jet black hair. Island girl, east side crazy. You never call me yours, but you call me baby. Why, Kiki? Why you wanna do me like that? Why you wanna hurt me so bad? Why you wanna make me feel so sad? When I was there, I was good friends with a gentleman named Joe Kamehameha. In the line of kings of Hawaii, he would be king if the thing had continued. So I'm going to talk about me and the Kamehameha boys. One more time. Here we go, y'all. Oh, yeah, yeah. Me and the Kamehameha boys are hunting mushrooms. Oh, yeah. One more time. On the road to Hana by the 7 sacred pools. Me and the Kamehameha boys are hunting mushrooms. Not the kind you put in your soup. The kind you make it go Maui, Noka, Oi, boom, boom, boom. Why, Kiki? Why you wanna do me like that, baby? Why you wanna hurt me so bad? Why you wanna make me feel so sad? Why, Kiki? Why you wanna do me like that? Anyway, enough of that. Let's continue. This is Alligator in Alignment. Let's go to San Anselmo, California. Joey came from Hawaii to visit his mom, who had a fall, and being elderly, he came down to make sure she was okay. So I caught him when he was here. So let's go to the interview I did with him a couple of weeks ago in San Anselmo, California. Joey Reyes. Okay, I want to take just a brief second here. If you want to help support me, please hit the like button, hit the subscription button, and do a favor, share this with your friends from you, okay? Sort of help to get the word out. This will help me greatly. Thank you so much.
Well,
Joey Reyes. We first met in 1972. I guess it must have been around that time in the Hawaiian Islands. I had been over there for a year, sort of hiding out. And I decided to, I didn't play music for a whole year. I had this whole thing going on. I'm not going to get into that. But when I did decide to put together a band, I ran into a guy named Jimmy Kikamoto there. Good guitar player, singer, wonderful guy. We lost contact with him now. It's been many years, we can't find him. But anyway, we put together a band that I call Velvet Voodoo. And we played at a place called the Corner Street Bar on Front Street in Lahaina. For a couple of years, we were the band. We were the guys. And after all of this time, I wanted to get back to Hawaii. I hadn't been back there since we left in '76. We went on a tour of Alaska for a while. But Joey moved back there several years ago. And I always wanted to go over and because I love the Maui. You know, I mean, living there was just wonderful. But then along came the fire, and I'm sure you all know about it. The town of Lahaina is burnt to the ground, or nothing but devastation. And as Joey tells me, they are really rebuilding it back, but it's never going to be the same. So, Joey?
oh yeah, it's devastated. You get it here in the picture. Yeah, Lahaina's devastated. It'll never be the same. About a week ago, or a couple weeks ago, they weren't even allowing people on Front Street. So I heard this from a relative that went to check it out. I haven't been back there on the other side it's been over a year. So
Well, it's just
it'll never be the same.
Yeah, I can't. It's hard for me to fathom that town Lahaina is just completely gone. I plan to get back over there at some point. But Joey, you are involved with a very interesting project. What is it called?
Oh, I said Jimi Hendrix celebration.
Jimi Hendrix celebration. Could you tell us something about that?
This one's kind of an annual event. It's put on by this woman on Maui, Rosalind Starchild. She's been doing it for many years, like over 12 years.
Oh.
And, you know, she picks up local musicians that want to participate in Hendrix with the right vibe. And they do it every year. On his birthday or sometime.
You know, that guy is absolutely amazing. So what do you say? It's been 54 years since he died. And guitar players are still chasing Hendrix. He had a quality about him that was, they've often been described as otherworldly. There was his guitar playing was, of course, incredible, but there was something else in there, something else that you can't really put your finger on, something that the people have often told me. They said, Alligator, you and the guitar are one, you know, and Hendrix was way more over on that side. The man and the guitar, you couldn't distinguish them from each other. And like most artists, like many artists, I say, not most artists, I know some real asses. But Hendrix was very shy, introverted, and very well-mannered. They're quite the opposite of his Wild Man of Borneo stage presence. And there's a lot of the Hendrix performances going on all over the world. You know, Steve Vai and Joe Satriani and Billy Gibbons, and you know, you could just go on, John Mayer and all of those guys. it is just mind-boggling the effect that one guy had on the music. Joey, you've been a Hendrix fan since day one.
Well, I was fortunate enough to see him the last time he came around to Berkeley, at the Berkeley Community Theater.
Oh boy!
So he did 2 shows there, and we went over there early in the day to catch him. Spent the day over in Berkeley, and before the show, they were doing a sound check, and from the truck, the outside truck, they were blasting it. And so we were sitting in the park getting ready for the show, and we could hear the sound check. And so everyone was sitting in the park getting high and getting ready for the show. Tower Power opened up for them. That was their first album.
Oh yeah, I remember those guys.
And they were great, their first album. Yeah. And the first show, we were up in the balcony. And, you know, I was expecting Hendrix to play. I didn't know what to expect. I thought he would play stuff off Electric Ladyland or of Axis and stuff like that. But he came in with this really live, raw set. And it was excellent. He played mostly with one hand because it was turned up loud. And after the first show, it was just so exciting. They emptied out the theater, so when we were coming out of the balcony, I saw people jumping on the roof of the Berkeley Community Theater. So we jumped on the roof because we were kids. And people were crowded around this window. And so I pushed my way to the front of the window, and it was their backstage. And Hendrix was back there, and he was changing clothes for a set. There were some groupies in the corner. The bass player was practicing. Bass player saw me, and he gave me the Black Power salute. and then so we went down. As soon as we got down, someone had smashed the side door, and we ran in for the second set. and got in for the second show. But it was so intense that, 3/4 of the way through the second set, we'd hitchhike back across the bay, so we just had to leave it. We couldn't stay to the end. But it messed me up for many, many years because it got me really spoiled, because, there just weren't that many acts that were comparable at that level. It damaged me for being able to appreciate a lot of other music at that time.
Well, I'm sure you know the effect he had when he first showed up in England. It's like half of the guitar players, Jeff Beck and Clapton and them, they were all thinking, Townsend too, were all thinking, what the hell are we going to do now?
Right.
Well,
it was all new territory then. But back then, music was like the internet,
Yeah.
We didn't have, cell phones or anything. We had to get our message through the music and bands and go to places to listen to it. And that's what it was like. And he was there. He told the story.
And you moved back to Maui. How long you been back there now?
It's been 8 years.
8 years.
And that was the last place Jimmy played in the United States. It was on Maui.
Was that the
Rainbow Bridge?
Rainbow Bridge, yeah.
Yeah.
That's an incredible film.
Yeah, Makawao.
Yeah, I mean he was in top form there.
But I remember when that album came out, there was a bootleg that came out down at the bottom of the hill. And I went and bought it. It was a yellow bootleg, clear vinyl of the Rainbow Bridge, Incident at Rainbow Bridge. And it was the cut before, the live recording, before, Mitch went and re-recorded the drums on it.
Yeah. I heard he went back and re-recorded the drum. That's great that you got to see him. So you are obviously you're still doing music over in.
Yeah, I play music. Yeah, I'm a bass player. I write music.
Yeah.
Play, it's just that I got spoiled from being in the city where you have a lot of bands, a lot of places to play. Over in Maui, there's only a few places to play, and you have to drive 45 minutes to go to a gig or something. And then if you stay there, you got to watch the checkpoints when you're leaving the place. You got to be really careful.
Yeah, because I'm sure that they got all kinds.
There's only one way in and one way out.
Yeah. Because they're still trying to.
And we used to live in Lahaina, so we could always play in Lahaina.
Yes.
You have to drive very far.
Yeah.
But in Kula, you have to drive everywhere.
Yeah. I love Maui. But like all of the islands I've lived on, whether it was in the Pacific or the Caribbean, the one thing I said was you get something called island fever. because you can only go around and around the same island so many times before, you know. And I remember the last 6 months that I lived on Maui, I spent most of my time over in Molokai because I had said Maui was getting too crowded.
Well,
And when Joey,
that's nothing.
when Joey went back, he told me, he says, if you thought Maui was crowded when you were here, you wouldn't recognize the place now.
Yeah.
When I first arrived on Maui, Lahaina was a sleepy little fishing town. During the day, you could walk down the street and maybe you see a few people fishing off the wharf thing there. But, you know, it was basically open, you know.
Those days are gone.
When I left, there was hardly any time of the day or night that there weren't people just running all over the place. But it's I got to get back over there. So anyway, we're talking with Joey Reyes. You tell me about Billy Cox and them. You said they showed.
Yeah, Billy Cox came back.
Now, for those of you who don't know, Billy Cox was a friend of Jimmy's when he was in the Army. And later on, they hooked up and went to Nashville. They sort of, you know, played around together. And I think he came back to Jimmy's band doing the Band of Gypsies.
Yeah, after the Experience broke up, when Noel split for the band, Jimmy asked Billy to play with him.
Yeah.
And they became the Band of Gypsies. Billy Cox is the last gypsy.
Yeah, yeah.
And he came back to Maui to help with the benefit for the fire, do a fire benefit, and we went down to check him out. And everybody, a lot of people were playing with him, like the bass player from the Stones, the guy, Ernie Isley was there, the guitar player who plays with Bob Dylan was there. You know, it was a really good event, fun event, because they, you know, they wanted to show their love for Billy. The last gypsy.
Yeah.
And, it was interesting at the end of the night when they did the finale. All the guitar players were playing the Voodoo Child with them, and Billy was sitting there, and they were all coming up to Billy and, you know, playing with their teeth and doing all their famous things. Billy was going, "All right, next." All right, next. It's you, because he's seen them all.
He's seen them all, and he was with the best.
Yes. So it was good to see Billy there, because he is the last gypsy.
Well, listen, this has been very interesting. This is my good friend Joey Reyes. I not only am are we friends, but I am actually a member of the Reyes family unit. You know, I'm just part of the family. You know, I always enjoy coming here because when I come here, I always tell Joey's mom, whenever I come in here and I sit in, I always feel like, well, I've come home. It's just wonderful. Joey, I'm glad you're here. So you're only here for a while, then you headed back. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Joey's mom had a little fall and was in one of the rehabilitation centers here. And, you know, of course, I went down there and did a show for her, you know. And but she's doing fine. And I'll do another thing with Joey when I get over to Hawaii. We'll do another one. This is Alligator. Oh, wait a minute. If you're in Denver, Colorado, I want you to stop by a place called Randall's. It used to be called Randall's Performance Theater, but now he has a smaller place just called Randall's. I've been playing there for many, many years. I played there before the pandemic. I'm going back in the spring. But if you want some good rhythm and blues and jazz and some other styles of music also, stop in there. Randall's in Denver. If you are doing what I'm doing, I got a guy for you. Friday Night Designs. Joey's cousin. Anything that has to do with the social media, websites, anything you need. I'm starting to work with him, but right now I'm preparing because he says I have to get on TikTok and Instagram and all these things. And me and my son are preparing, making the preparations to get started. Because once you get started, I have to be consistent. But Friday Night Designs, if you have any media problems or you want to get more coverage or you want a website, you need anything, Friday Night Designs is it. And if for those of you in Monterey area, you know where I am every second Saturday of the month at the Elroy's Bonton Lighthouse Smokehouse, 794 Lighthouse Avenue. I'm there every second Saturday. Come on down. We have so much fun that it's almost a sin. So this is Alligator in Alignment.
Can I get a plug in?
Yes.
If you're in Maui on the end of November 30th, come to Paia, jamming on Maui. You'll see the Jimi Hendrix tribute, jamming on Maui, Paia.
And what's the date again?
November 30th, 7 p.m.
November 30th in Paia. I wish I could make it. Okay, so anyway, this is Alligator in Alignment saying happy trails, and I'll see everybody later.
Aloha.